Good morning, traders and investors. I'm Joel Alcanan along with Dennis Dick, Brent Slava, Jake LeCure, and Mighty Joe Young is going to be on the show today. This is Benzinga's pre-market prep brought to you by Options House. Sign up and get 150 free trades. Joe, what's the lineup for today?
Money in the bank, Joel. That's what's in the lineup today. Sorry to disappoint everyone. Brianna's out of the office today, so I'll be here entertaining you. We have Nick Shaheen on, Options Outlook Day, Tuesday, and at 9 a.m., one of our favorites of Eagle Bay Capital founder and president J.C. Peretz at All Star Charts will be on the show.
Excellent lineup today. And Dennis, how are you doing this morning?
Not too bad. Pretty flat overnight market, though. Was trading a little bit last night, trading a little bit earlier here this morning, and it's pretty boring trade out there today. Only a 5-point range. 1884.50 on the high, 1879 on the low. We're kind of in the middle of this range here, Joel. 1860s has given us major support, and obviously the 1900 has given us major resistance. What do you think is going to be happening here today?
Well, support has definitely moved up from that level since we had that rally yesterday. I see 79 even is the overnight low. I'm trying to stay bullish until we take out a little bit lower than that, 1877.50. We have taken out yesterday's high in the pre-market, but to me, that's still a relevant number because you had to close right there at 82 and a quarter. Next level to take a look at would be Thursday's high at 1888.50.
Gold falling back down here to support again in the 1290s. We just keep trading in these ranges. The S&P is range bound, and gold has been range bound too. Gets in the lower mid 1280s, seems to find support. Gets up over 1300, 1305, 1310, finds resistance, and we're kind of a little bit towards the bottom end of this range here on gold. You going bottom picking in gold here today?
Oh my gosh, Dennis, this is the if you would have done this one, two, three, four last four sessions, we've bottomed right in this area and popped up. Now you get to 87.80 today. You're not getting a huge pop. Still be looking to cover a little bit of lean into the long side here, but I think if it made a new intraday low below 87.80, I'd have to cut loose. And also, besides like hitting this 1290 level and bouncing up, we've also gotten into the 1300 handle like 3 or 4 times in the last 5 sessions, but haven't been able to close above there. So range bound, maybe some time for some strangle or something like that, because I don't think we're going to stay in this 15-point range forever.
We haven't looked at the individual miners here
Well,
for
let's
quite a
do
while.
that.
Bring up the chart of Barrick because this is ugly. This thing has been breaking down here. I haven't even noticed here over the course of the last month. It's lost another $2.50. And if you really look at this chart on a weekly, this has been an awful few months here for Barrick Gold. It is getting ugly there.
When they started that rumor, or not rumor, but the supposed takeout with Newmont, that
Yeah.
didn't, yeah, that didn't go as expected. I mean, if you're trying to pick a bottom here in the 1650 level, boy, it's tough. It's tough because this is making new lows for the move. I mean, what can you do here? This 1635 was yesterday's low. You have to go back to the beginning of the year. You had a low at under $16 at 1526. So just no move here, especially relative to gold. I mean, gold has held up pretty well, but this miner has just gotten killed.
They're saying no sound in the chat, but I'm hearing sound here, Joel. What's the Benzinga office saying? I think we're still okay. Johnny Spangler, Colts, if you can just refresh your page, try that, and maybe the sound will come through because it is working on our end here.
Shub said he does have sound. Confirmed.
Yeah, so try refreshing the page. Lots of earnings here. We're in retail earnings season here, Joel, and you've got Home Depot report here, Dick's Sporting Goods, Staples, and they all have one thing in common.
And
What-
that is
They're all going down despite Home Depot had pretty good report. Dick's had a bad report. It doesn't matter. They're all going lower here. So it's a matter of sell them on good earnings, sell them on bad earnings. Let's start with Dick's Sporting Goods because it is getting taken out and beaten behind the woodshed here this morning. It's down a cool $8 here right now. 53.16 is where it closed. It's down at $45. I felt like going bottom picking, but you held me off there, Joel. I was talking to you, and I was thinking, oh, this 45.67 low that we had, maybe that holds. No, cascaded right through through that. Now we're trading in the 45 handle here, the low 45 handle. I don't know. You think this thing's going to keep cascading down, or are you going bottom picking on this one?
No, no. And the reason I told you to hold off is because it's just too early in the pre-market. If you're going to take a shot on something like this, then you might want to wait till if you're going to try and buy this thing in the pre-market, wait for 9:29, 30 seconds or something. Showing a little bit of a bottoming pattern here, I guess, a little stretch of the imagination. You did hit, you
A
did,
big of
yeah.
the imagination, Joel, on that chart. That looks like it's just going straight off a cliff and hasn't even come close to hitting the bottom yet. But I'll listen to your argument. Give me your argument.
44.64, Dennis. I mean, we hit that and we have bounced 40 cents. So just keeping an eye on that level, 44.64. And then if you go out longer term here, man, you got to go out longer term here. You did have a low under $44 at 43.82 back in July of 2012. I don't think we're going to get there. Just keeping an eye on that pre-market low right now, and that's 44.64.
So you think the momentum continues, or do you think that 44.64? Do you think the low is in here? We trade 171,000.
Not yet.
You're still saying it's going lower here. So
yeah,
we're at 45, trading actively here at 45, and trading major volume down here too. Like sometimes you see these 8-point down moves on like 10,000 shares. This thing's trade 173,000 shares, so this is serious here. The earnings report itself was 50 cents versus 52, and 1.44 billion versus 1.46 billion. So that's a miss on the top, a miss on the bottom. They cut the full year outlook. They're looking for 262 to 267. Analyst estimates are up at 282. So that is not good for DKS shareholders here, and it is an ugly day for them. And somebody last night in the after-hour session was leaning the wrong way because this was getting bid up ahead of the report at $54, and I was like, it'll be interesting to see if this actually beats tomorrow. Well, I guess they had the bad inside information if they were trading on it because, man, that thing is getting murdered here today.
You ever go there? You ever go to Dick's Sporting Goods?
I should really, with the name Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh yeah, yeah. This should be your company. I like it.
Yeah, I actually bought. What did I buy there? I was there. I bought.
Punching
I can't
bag.
even remember. I bought something there about 3-4 years ago, but that's how often I go there. Is every maybe twice a decade or something like that. So I'm not an avid Dick's Sporting Goods shopper.
Okay, in Home Depot, they said bad earnings because of the weather, right?
Yeah, you know what I did buy? I bought a treadmill there. That's what it was. I went on after the Thanksgiving Day, the Black Friday, went there, picked up a treadmill for like 30% of the original cost or something, like an $1,800 treadmill for like.
On Dick's Sporting Goods is actually Spencer. He was a golf pro there for 2 years. So,
Spencer 1 or Spencer 2?
Spencer 1.
Spencer 1?
Yeah, Spencer Shredder. He was a golf pro there, so he was he worked. I think it was like 2 years there over at.
He's 19. When did he work there? When he was like 6 or 7? I mean, how old?
I don't know. Must have been it.
That guy's done everything. Okay, maybe if Spencer comes into the office, we'll get his take on that.
Bring him aboard.
But Home Depot is getting lit up too here, Dennis. How bad was that report?
Wasn't that bad. $1 versus 99. The revenue was okay, $19.7 billion. They added to the buyback $3.75 billion more. They reaffirmed full year guidance. So it sounded like, that's a lot of good stuff going on there. Wrong, not good enough. And they're knocking the stock down $1.15 here right now. It's trading at 75.37. Went out at 76.50. So despite a pretty okay report and pretty okay guidance, they're knocking this down.
Dennis, I'm looking at the adjusted figure. I do see adjusted at 96, and the street was at 99, and then the sales were 19.7 versus 19.95 billion. So they did miss. The guidance was okay. I'm looking at the report right now. The little executive snippet that the release has says the first quarter was impacted by a slow start to the spring selling season, but we had solid results in non-weather impacted markets. So definitely kind of
blame it on the weather.
At the weather, for sure.
The weather. It was the weather, for sure. Joel, give us some levels here.
Let's see. We just hit 75 in the pre-market, and that coincides with the low that we had a little bit lower than that, 74.61, getting a little bounce off to 75 level. So right there you go, 74.61 under the $75 level. But do you want to know why I'm not a big Home Depot fan?
Why?
Because I went there. I was doing some laying some mulch, or had some people helping me out doing it. And I went and I bought 6 bags. Okay, and I brought it home, and it was the wrong color. Okay, so I tried to take it back, and I go out the receipt, and I'm like, hey, give me my refund, and I'll go put the bags back. They're like, no, you have to bring it in the store. So
Yeah.
I had to go out and get. I'm like, well, can't someone come out and verify? There's like 6 bags of mulch here, and they're like, no. So I had to load up 2 carts of the mulch and bring it in the store so they would give me my refund. I thought that was
Uh,
I thought that was very rude.
Somebody's
so.
got to bring it in the store at some
Well,
point,
no, they
right?
keep the stuff outside.
Ah, so
Yeah.
gotta bring it in
true.
so they can see it,
I get it.
and then and because they don't want to send somebody out, and maybe they're trying to watch their labor. They don't want to send that extra person out there to watch that. They're
Doesn't
trying
Lowe's report right after this?
Yeah, absolutely. It
Yeah.
should
Lowe's
be
reports tomorrow, I
tomorrow.
believe, doesn't it,
Yep.
Brett?
Yeah, let me double check, but it should be tomorrow. I see tomorrow morning, usually around 6 a.m. So pretty early one.
Are they hitting the lows on this or not?
They
It's
very
down
well
50
could
cents
be.
right now. Yeah, they're hitting it a little bit. 45.15 now, 45.01. An odd lot just traded there, so a little bit. They're smacking it around.
A little bit of support this under the $45 level here. You did have actually a low in yesterday's session at 44.99, then another low at 44.75. So it's important for Lowe's to hold this $45 level.
Ace is saying that you expected them to come pick it up. I think Joel was saying that they wanted him to bring it into the physical store. That was the problem, right, Joel?
Yeah. Even though they keep it outside, I just wanted to unload my car, boom, get rid of it. But I had to, and then they had to take it back outside. It was ridiculous.
Well, they must know you well, Joel.
Oh
You're
my
just
goodness.
telling me about stealing pens from your hotel. So
They're not.
who knows what you're gonna do with that bag of mulch?
That's a totally different thing. They give you pens in the hotel, and you can take.
They allow you to use the pens. Joel says, "Oh, free pens. I take the pens. I take the toilet paper."
Okay,
all-
we're
it's all good.
really digressing here. Let's
Yes,
get
we
back.
are back to the earnings. Staples, SPLS. The theme of selling the retailers is alive and well in Staples. It is down a cool 10.75% right now on their report, and they missed 18 versus
Oh.
21 and 5.65 billion. I guess they beat on the revenue, 5.62 billion. Same store sales down 4%. That's never a good sign, and they're smacking it around here this morning.
And the spoos are down 50 cents, huh? Like everything's going out of business, and the spoos are down 50 cents.
All the retailers are going out of business, but everything else is okay.
Okay, Staples taking a hit here. We did trade lower than where we're looking at right now. We did trade down to $11 even. Cool pop on that though. After you hit $11, you almost got to 12.20. Slows the levels be looking at today. 11 and 12.20 minor resistance.
Okay, J Dot's asking about Urban Outfitters, and the theme continues in this stock as well. It is down $1.52 on their earnings report. So we're 4 for 4 so far. 26 versus 27 and 686 million versus 680 million. So it did be on the top line, did miss on the bottom line, and they are knocking Urban Outfitters down here today too.
This one, you did have the spike down here. Immediately off the news, spike down to lower than $34 here. Can I see this? 34. Get the exact number. It looks like 34.63. No, we've been lower than that. Huh. Come on, you stupid chart.
Looks like around 34. If you look back to February, that's an interesting number too, because we had a low in February at 33.95, February the 4th. So that's the bogey, 34, 33.95. Call that whole area major support. You don't want to see that breached.
34.03 pre-market low.
Hey, just
Okay.
to keep the retail convo going, Wells Fargo did downgrade JCPenney this morning. And it
Actually-
was actually to an underperform, so that's basically the equivalent of their sell rating.
Yeah, you've got Kramer versus Wells Fargo here right now. We learned something here because Kramer was actually pumping Rite Aid and J.C. Penney last night, saying how he liked the quarters and he liked the stocks, and J.C. Penney was trading higher. And then all of a sudden this morning, Wells Fargo downgrades J.C. Penney, and look, J.C. Penney is actually trading down 12 cents. So basically, Wells Fargo is more influential than Jim Kramer. That's what we here today.
Did you get a piece of that at all when it popped
Trading
up
it?
with the
Where did it trade up to? Let's see last night.
not that
Yeah.
much. You're right. It popped back over 975 here. Not much. It really didn't do much. I was still gandering here on the chart of that ridiculous activity you had when it got over $10.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I think SF Bright was looking at this one yesterday, and you don't want to see this when you have an earnings report, and then the day after there's no follow through to the upside. I thought maybe the people that had the 10 calls or any calls above 9, 9 and a quarter, whatever they have the strikes, I thought they might have been holding it down on Friday, but that's not the case. You took out the low from Friday at 9:41 went to 9:33. Just kind of, I mean, we just may drift back and fill that gap. Have a long ways to go to fill the gap though. 869.